This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. We're at clay pigeon shooting here in Canary, Wharf. Frank, there's a lot of shotguns here. Gonna have a go yourself?
You be careful, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we are at clay in Canary Wharf, if anyone's been here. Can you answer it live?
No.
Do you want to answer that, Frank? Okay. Obviously a few of the boxers here, Moses and Joe Joyce will be here. We've got Denzel Bentley, Mark Chamberlain. Just a bit of a media day here for some of your fighters, Frank.
Yeah, it's organised by TNT, so it's good. I've not spoken to any of them yet. Only just got here myself, but it's a good bit of fun for them, and everybody's enjoying it.
Your phone buzzing. You sure and important, Frank? We're 10 days out, Frank?
Yeah.
From the one that we've been waiting for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's countdown time now. The guys are more or less finished all their serious training. Next week is a big media week. And then we've got the big fight on us.
A lot on the line next week, Frank, for your man Daniel Dubois. He's had to come through it through his career. The last two wins have been very notable against Miller and also against Hrgovic in his last fight. His confidence must be through the roof. He goes in there with no fear.
He's very, very confident at the moment. There's no doubt about it.
Just picking this back up, yeah. Dubois must be super confident, no fear going into next week, Frank.
Look, he's in a good place. He's 26 years of age, and I don't think the pressure's on him. It's more on AJ than him. You know, AJ's the guy who's the favourite as far as the bookmakers are concerned, and a lot of people. And he's the one who they all feel that, you know, he's got the tools to do the job. Daniel has been underdog in his last 3 fights, and he's fought all unbeaten fighters. Every one of them are unbeaten, and he's beaten 2 of those unbeaten fighters. So he's in a good place. He's in a very, very good place, and he seems to have matured, certainly after the Usyk fight and his last 2 fights. Mentally, he's in a different place, and I really do feel it's going to be his time.
A lot over the last few days, which we knew that was going to happen, was going to come out about the sparring between Joshua and Dubois. I think Anthony Fowler came out on Talk Sport a few days ago and said that he was there and witnessed Joshua being hurt, etc., and Rob McCracken telling Joshua to kind of take the round off, etc. And I mean, Frank, I know obviously you wasn't there, Frank, but what do you, or can you tell us about that situation that occurred a few years ago now?
Look, it was a long while ago, and I heard about that, and that's one of the reasons we got involved in Daniel, and we pushed for it. But you know, that was sparring, and that was, you know, he was 17 then. He was a 17-year-old kid. So what was AJ then? 24, 20, 23, 24? Big difference. But that's years ago, years and years ago. It's today now that what matters. You know, it's today. Daniel said to me he knows he can hurt him. But I think anybody knows that because he's a big puncher. And the other side of it is AJ is strong and throws big punches, and he can hurt Daniel. So it's going to be who's got the best chin out of the 2 of them. We know they both can punch, but who can take it, and who's got this, and who's got plan B, and who's got the mental willpower to keep to their game plan. Because soon as, for me, one of them goes on the back foot, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
well, that's what I mean. But you know, you don't have to get knocked out. You get hit with a big shot, and you feel that power, and suddenly you start. You know, some fighters it's like, well, hold up a bit. I've got to change my tactics here. And as I say, what you can't afford to do is go on the back foot. They both got good jabs, very good jabs, and the fact that, you know, when AJ lets those shots go, he does become vulnerable, you know, for the counter punch. But then Daniel in his last fight, those first couple of rounds, he was getting clipped with the right hand. So, you know.
Frank, obviously Daniel Dubois was elevated to full IBF champion after the win against Hrgovic. There's a few people out there saying that this shouldn't be for a world title. I'm sure you would have seen Carl Froch's comments regarding this, that this should be not for a world title because either of them haven't beaten Alexander Usyk. But we know the belt situation. We know that the IBF was going to become, obviously, to play for, if you like.
Look, when you fight for a title, the respective respective governing bodies have their regulations. And in their regulations, it states when boxers have to defend their titles. Some are lax with it, some are on the money with it. And the IBF, which is a state-run or a government, a state-run organisation with people who are appointed and are under a lot of scrutiny in America. You know, they're based in America under a lot of scrutiny. If they don't follow through with their rules, they can wind up in prison. I mean, years and years ago, there was a scandal when Bobby Lee, the previous president, wound up in prison for accepting bribes and so forth. So they're on it, and they are under, as I say, a lot of scrutiny. And Daryl Peoples I like Daryl. He's a good guy and whatever, but they're just following through the rules. They've done that not just to Usyk. I think they've done it to Canelo. I think they've done it to Crawford. They follow their rules to the rest. So if you
for years they've been doing this.
Yeah, it's not something new. They haven't just picked on Usyk, and we've got to look at it when you're making fights and you're making rematches in there. None of the organisations recognise rematches. None of them. And this time round, it was the IBF's turn for the defence of the title by Usyk, and they insisted that it take place, having given him the opportunity to unify the titles. So it is what it is. You know, who's the best heavyweight out there? We'll find out in December whether it's going to be Tyson again, but at the moment it's Usyk as far as the belt's concerned, and everybody understands that. I mean, people are not stupid. Daniel holds the IBF title. If he does what he does, or the winner comes through that fight, they're going to have to be the winner of Usyk and Tyson to be considered to be the best. At the moment, because of how it is, it's Usyk.
Frank, I've got to ask you what you think of Froch's comments that this should be a British title fight, not a world title fight.
Well, like it's a British title fight. I mean, he just demeans everything, and you know, how can it be? I mean, the two guys are coming off wins. Daniel's beaten the mandatory challenger, which was for the interim title. So why would it be for the British title? You know, the British title's already being fought for out in Saudi and in a couple of weeks' time. So we're going to strip those guys. He comes out with stupid things. He comes out with things for effect. That's what he does, you know. And come and talk to me on my podcast like everybody's running to bang on that door. I mean, do me a favour.
Frank, obviously, next week's going to quickly approach, but I just do want to ask you about that card on October the 12th as well. Beterbiev and Bivol. The undercard is very intriguing. There's a lot of UK interest on that. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr., etc., who obviously you tried for that fight.
He should be fighting. He should be fighting another. You want to talk about all Brit fights? He should be fighting Hamza Shiraz or Denzel Bentley. That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be doing.
He's fighting Serramata on that card. But yeah, you've been kind of voicing that opinion about Eubank and Shiraz since Shiraz's last win and before that. But yeah, but obviously after that, is that a possibility?
We'll see. Not for us, it is. For him, it's not. He don't want to know, does he? You know that. I mean, the money he asked for, I can't even tell you. It's just like it's just bullshit. You know, you either want to fight or you don't, and you either say I don't want the fight, or you say I'll have that fight, but you got to give me like trillions, and that's what he did.
Frank, I just want to refer back to Turki Al Sheikh's interview on TalkSport he did about a week ago. Some very interesting comments regarding pay-per-view pricing, which is quite positive. But the thing I wanted to ask you about really was, he said if AJ was to beat Dubois, then despite the result of Fury and Usyk, there will be an offer made to make AJ and Fury after that. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends how he gets, how he gets beaten, or how they win, or how they get beaten. But it's always a fight. It's always was a fight everybody in this country certainly wanted to see, and I'm sure that'd be the case whatever the result.
What did you think of the dynamic of Simon Jordan and Turkey on that call? Because it seemed like Turkey was open to kind of ask me what you want. Simon kind of refrained from. Well, he said, if you've got any reservations about anything to do with kind of what we're doing in Saudi Arabia, let's talk about it now. Simon said, we'll talk about it another time.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, for me, nobody has to justify boxing in Saudi Arabia. It's like many other sports that Saudi Arabia is involved with, like the Riyadh Season is involved with, and there's been a lot of investment, certainly into lots of different sports like football and so forth, the golf and boxing. I don't know why people keep jumping on the. There's a few journalists keep jumping on the bandwagon, having pops at it, but at the end of the day, I mean, you don't hear the golf riders doing that. You don't hear the football riders doing it. You don't hear most of them do it, but. It's typical boxing, isn't it? We're always, we always want to, when the big fight's happening. Now let's find another reason to slag boxing off. Someone's making some big fights and enabling fights that have been difficult to put together. They're now happening. But you know what? Let's kick it. Let's kick everyone while we're doing it. Do me a favour. It's just a nonsense.
I'll ask you the question I asked someone recently. You take Riyadh Season out of the last 12 months. I mean, the landscape in boxing would have been completely different.
Well, there would have been fights would have happened. I believe that Tyson would have fought Usyk. I do believe that would have happened. But they wouldn't have got the money they were getting. And you wouldn't have got these superb undercards that are going with them. And they've expedited it and forced it to happen. And it's now snowballed. And you only got to look at the next couple of shows that we've just been talking about, the Wembley edition, and looking at the one on October the 12th in Riyadh. I mean, they're unbelievable cars. Look at the fights. I mean, that's what it's all about. You're a boxing fan. Why wouldn't you want this? It's just mad. And anybody who criticises it is, I don't get it. This constant barrage and trickle from some of the people in the business, the negativity, always the negativity, not the positivity, not the fact that you've got the first ever women's world title fight taking place there, which is a big statement. That's a massive statement. So we should be praising things that are happening. And things take time sometimes, but, you've been there, I've been there. I mean, I love it out there. I mean, what I mean by I love it, I mean, it's very safe. It's absolutely spotless. It's, the people are just lovely. They look after you. I mean, it's been brilliant, and nothing's too much for anybody. And that's it. And I think, especially living in London, and I'm involved in Boxwise charity now. I'm chairman of the Boxwise charity, and looking at some of the stuff that goes on in this country, and now we're not getting to grips with it. It's, you think you can go to Saudi and it's safer. And people say, well, of course it's safe because there's consequences. But that's what there should be, consequences. You do something wrong, there should be a consequence. I'm not talking about, crazy consequence, but there is a safe, there is that respect, and that's what we need. We need that. I think people in this country now want to see. They want to feel safe in their city. They want to be able to go out. They want their kids to be safe when they go out. Their mums going out, don't want to see their kids going out and, walking about with big machetes and things like this. They want their kids to be safe and come home at night. And it's just bloody. I always look for the positivity in things, and I think in Saudi, all you're doing, that country is opening their eyes up and embracing sports from around the world, which for the young, because it's a very young population, for them it's brilliant because they're engaging, they're watching it, and they're seeing what happens in other countries. You don't isolate people. You start isolating people, and it becomes a closed shop, and nothing happens. They are expanding, and as you say, at the end, that proved in all the different sports they're invested in, and they got the World Cup.
I've been going to Saudi for the last 6-7 years, and the gripe has always been that taking boxing away from the UK, but we've got Aj-Dubois, 96,000, which is going to be a record attendance for this country for a boxing fight. So they're ticking those boxes when they don't need to. They could have had that fight in Saudi, but they're doing it for the Brits and for us.
It's here, it's part of the Riyadh season, advertising the Riyadh season, and it's brilliant. And there are other shows, we lots of shows. I mean, we've done the Magnificent Seven shows, we've done the O2, we've got, Chisora, Joe Joyce, what a great fight that was. I mean, just some really good events, and a lot of this is happening because boxing's really, really on the map there, and hopefully it'll continue to be.
Absolutely. Have you seen Eddie Hearn and Leonard Ellaby cozying up in America?
No, I haven't. I've been over here. I've not been in America.
Oh, I've just saw a couple of videos from Vegas from the Canelo week, and it seems like they're okay now.
That's good. We're all friends. That's how it should be. Leave the fighting for the ring.
Interesting. Just listen, you're all getting along with each other.
It's killing your business because you've got no clickbait anymore.
Just want a little bit of beef, but you're all on one show. All you promoters. You've got you, Hearn, Shalom, and Scala, everyone on the same one.
Getting what you've all asked for and moaned about over the years. Why are these fights not happening? They're happening now. Yeah.
No, we want peak Warren when he used to get the shotguns out. Where is it? This one there. We were joking, just for the purpose of the camera, we were joking. Frank, listen, we look forward to a historic week next week. There's a lot going on next week.
Unbelievable. Don't forget TNT Box Office.
Okay, we won't plug any other channels. This is for TNT, so absolutely. Thank you, Frank.